Hello everybody, my name is Phythodas. Welcome to this video and to this Titan Quest channel and to this new build guide and build, which is an old build but this is the second version. The first time I created the Kraken build was about 6 years ago. That build was using this weapon, the Kraken's Fist. This is why I call this build the Kraken. And it was dual wielding the Kraken's Fist. So this build is different, because this one is using a shield and the Kraken's Fist. This build is all about making a very nice build to work with this weapon, which is not the most powerful melee legendary weapon in the game. Somebody is attacking me, why? Let them attack. And this is why it was very interesting to see if I could make a very nice build, a very good build even for red game with the Kraken's Fist instead of using the other more overpowered items, especially of Eternal Ember's Act. I decided to go with a Harbinger, but let me kill this one. Well, yeah, as you can see, the build is very powerful. I decided to go with a Harbinger, which is Warfare Mastery and the Dream Mastery. With attribute points, this is a legendary hero. It started at level 70. I spent 20 attribute points on health to increase my health, because I didn't get enough health from these items set up anyways. So now the health is at a good state. I didn't spend any points on energy, I didn't spend any points on intelligence, I spent most of my points on dexterity, because we need some more dexterity to equip a couple of items and of course to increase our defensive and offensive abilities. And I spent many points on strength to increase, again, to be able to equip items that require lots of strength and also to increase my physical damage output as much as possible. For the skills we have Warfare Mastery. First of all, we have all skills buffed up in Warfare Mastery +4 and in Dream Mastery +3. In Warfare Mastery we are using the weapon training because it provides offensive ability attack speed, and this is perfect. I have spent only 1 point on Battle Rage for now at Crushing Blow. Later maybe I will spend more points on this one, but I don't know, we will see. It is not very important. We have maxed out the dodge attacks to dodge attacks, and the Battle Standard and the Triumph. With this one we get damage absorption, which is survivability and more damage output and whatnot. And with this one we reduce the physical damage and physical resistance of enemies and star resistance, which means that we deal much more devastating damage to the enemy. I use as my main skill left click the Onslaught, of course. This is a very big buff to physical damage, but it also provides these add-ons: the Ignore Pain, the Hamstring and the Ardor. So I will max out this one later, and this one is maxed out already. I have spent only 1 point on Warwood for now. Later I will max it out, but I have maxed out the lesser rate because I wanted to get the 5 target maximum and get the maximum bleeding damage as well. We are not killing enemies with bleeding damage, but little by little sometimes maybe it will help. Here we have maxed out the War Horn to stun enemies and increase the meter radius of effect, and we have maxed out the Doom Horn to deal damage to enemies and reduce their armor. When you reduce the armor of the enemy, they receive more physical damage from your attacks. This is it for Warfare Mastery. In Dream Mastery, because this build doesn't have the best setup of primary resistances, I decided to go with the Trance of Convalescence because this one provides some damage absorption and health regen per second. Then I have maxed out the Lucid Dream for more damage output, the Premonition for more offensive defensive abilities, and Temporal Flux, of course, for total speed, chest of avoid projectiles and slow resistance. I spent 1 point on Summon Nightmare and I'm using the Hypnotic Gaze. The good thing with this one is that now, especially against bosses, when you have one boss enemy for example, if you are using the Trance of Wrath, which has the reduced resistances, which is multiplicative, not absolute, and then you have this one with this one, which is again multiplicative, not absolute. If this one hits an enemy, and the same enemy gets hit at the same time by this one, only the skill that has the highest number of reduced resistances will apply to the enemy. They do not stack together. So, since we are not using this one now, because we want to use this one becomes even more crucial as an add-on for this one. And this is why I'm using this one, and I have it at 46% reduced resistances. And especially against bosses when you have a single enemy to fight against, when this pet uses this one on that enemy, it reduces the resistance of the enemy by a multiplicative way, not absolute, not flat. And now you deal more damage to the enemy. Here we have the distortion field. This one provides survivability, damage absorption, and of course I'm using the Phantom Strike maxed out, 8 targets maximum, and of course the Dream Stealer maxed out, energy reach as well. Awesome. So this is the setup of the skills of masteries for now. Now let's go to the items. Here we have some very nice things. First of all, this build looks great visually because these items that I'm using, they look great, and the combination of items is very good as well. Now, I'm using the artifact Envy of Set because this one provides 100 flat damage, which is physical. This build is all about physical damage, so this one adds lots of physical damage to the weapon attacks and will deal much more damage now. And also the skill Abdicate, which we have down here. The Abdicate skill, when you activate it, it has a meter radius of effect, it is always active, and it hits enemies, reducing the enemy's health per second. And it also slows down the movement of enemies, but the most important thing and the reason why I'm using this one is the minus 30% physical resistance. This is not multiplicative, it is absolute, it is flat. So even if the enemy has 0 physical resistance, because if the enemy has 0 flat physical resistance, the multiplicative reduction to the resistance will not work, because 0 minus 46%, it is 0. But if it is 0 minus 30% flat, then it goes down to minus 30% physical resistance for the enemy. This one is devastating to the enemies, all enemies. And we use this one. But I'm not using this one constantly, I'm using it only because it costs lots of energy. I activate this one only when I need to activate it. You see that it goes down, but sometimes I deactivate it. Now I'm using the Armor of the Phantom. This one provides also a plus to skills in Dream Mastery and many resistances. It is perfect for this build. I'm using the Volage Masterpiece from Ragnarok Act. This item is also perfect for this build. Many resistances, plus 1 to skills. The base armor is not the best, but it doesn't matter. We are at a very good state of survivability. Here we have the Philips Reforms. This item requires dexterity, but it is also on 37% attack speed, total speed and other things. And here we have the Philips March. Both items belong to the same set, and the bonus is 10% chance of plus 200% physical damage. Imagine when this bonus triggers and you have the enemy under the effect of this one abdicated, especially when you have the enemy also under the effect of the battle standard, which also reduces the enemy's physical resistance by 60%. If the enemy is under the effect of this one, minus 60% physical resist, and this one minus 30% physical resist, these two reduction to resistances, they work in an absolute flat way. So practically, effectively, you get the enemy down to minus 90% physical resist if you have both activated at the same time on the same enemy. And on top of that, imagine that you have also this 10% chance of triggering. Here we have the Pendant of Immortal Rage. For such a build, the most perfect amulet in the whole game. Here we have the Sei's Whim. This one is awesome. It provides many stats that are... the elemental damage buff is useless mostly. But all other stats are very nice, except maybe for the intelligence buff. But even the energy, the plus 226 energy is perfect for this build. It can use some energy. And here we have the resistance keycodes of the Tinkerer. I'm using this one mostly for the resistances, and I decided to go with the Torch Soul to get more damage output to demons and undead. So, although this build is already very powerful against all types of enemies, demons and undead, and we have so many demons and undead enemies throughout the whole game, they are going to totally get wrecked by this build. Then, we have the Kraken's Fist. This item also has its own 15% chance of plus physical damage. It also has a chance to stun, it has very nice also cold lightning resistances, it is a very nice item. And a very good amount of base physical damage. Of course, this is not the highest physical damage you can get on a base melee weapon, because with Ragnarok items and Eternal Embers items, we can get some base physical damage that is much higher than this one. But anyways, this build is already very powerful with this item, and the combination of all items and skills. Last but not least, I decided to go with the Ensile to use this one on an endgame build. Because it provides plus 2 skills in Warfare Mastery, It also provides buffs to physical damage, to strength, offensive, defensive. It is perfect in every single way. And this is the build when it comes to items. Now, if I activate this skill, my resistances are not the best. This is why, again, I'm using the Trash of Convalescence. But they are good enough because, after all, we use this skill, for example, to stun enemies and survive better this way. Or we use the Battle Stutter, which provides damage absorption, and we survive better this way. The numbers of damage are very good, attack speed is perfect. Okay, not perfect, but it is super awesome. But these numbers of damage and attack speed go up because we use Onslaught, and Onslaught decreases physical damage output, and it also provides a buff to attack speed. We have only these two secondary resistances here. Casting speed is not really that useful, it is at a spellcaster build. Movement speed is super awesome, almost perfect. Offensive ability is amazing, defensive ability is amazing, and we get also survivability in the form of chest to dodge attacks and avoid projectiles. This is the Kraken build. Let's go now to kill a couple of enemies for you to see some gameplay. The numbers of damage, they go up.
The four perils.
We can already see that this build is super fast when it comes to movement. When we activate Onslaught, at least with one hit, attack speed goes up to 207% and movement speed goes up to 166, which 166% is the maximum. So guys, leave a comment below and let me know if you want me to live stream this build. A legendary item. Yeah, 7000 DPS. We are mysterious orb. Yeah, and the enemies are going to have a very serious issue against me. This build is mostly, for the most part at least, it is a single target build. But of course we have a couple of skills. This one hits multiple enemies up to 9 targets maximum. This one hits multiple enemies, 8 target maximum. This one hits multiple enemies and deals some damage, so... Okay. The main attack is single target, but we have some AoE. Of course, as we can see, everything is very easy. And we have many undead here, so... Come on. Cha-cha. Oh yeah. Very powerful. Can I go that way? Yes. So, the buff to elemental damages that we get from that ring, it can help in these cases where you activate a shrine that provides elemental damage, like Frostbite Shrine. Because this one now, when you have the Frostbite Shrine, you apply elemental damage to the enemies. And because it is a flat number, a flat effect of elemental damage, that one gets affected by the elemental percentages of the ring or any other items that you might have equipped. So, in some few cases at least, that stat as well is not useless. Let's go that way, please. That poor little skeleton. He got obliterated by my Phantom Strike. Here we are to the haunted shipwreck. Let's go for the boss. So, as we can see, this build is very fast and very satisfying to play. And at least in this stage of the game, it is also very easy. Activate this one. Magical Ghost is dead already. Honor Guards of Immortality. Very nice item. Reward to Drakena. Legendary sword. Potion of Service. So guys, this is going to be it for this video. This is the build. I don't know if you like it. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you like it or not, or whatever you want to say. Hit the like button if you want to support this channel with the algorithm, and if you like the content, and also subscribe. And I will see you very soon again with much more content. And have a great day.